Hello to my kings, queens, and in-betweens. I'm Valerie and welcome to my channel, The Bookish Valkyrie. Today I am belatedly going through my TBR for Jante's Inferno. If you don't know what that is, Jan Agaton runs this readathon. It goes from the 6th, which was yesterday, and this time it is going to go from the 6th through the 16th, so there's still time to join in if you want and see how far you can get. Basically, the idea is that you are reading your way out of hell, and we've got the 9 circles of hell that you have to work your way up through. I am currently on the bottom rung of hell still. I started reading yesterday because that is when this readathon started, so again, sorry for the belated video, that's just the way it worked out. So I just want to go over the books that I am planning on reading throughout this readathon. Right now, I feel fairly good about this list being something I might stick to. That is the firmest stick to it you're gonna get from me on a TBR. These are all books that I am wanting to get to or I am already reading. So to get out of this lowest level of hell, I need to read something that betrays my physical TBR. So it either needs to be like from the library or borrowed from a friend or is a different format like ebook or audiobook. I actually had a library hold come in on Libby right before this started. I think it came in on the 5th. So that book is Where They Saw Her Last by Marcy R. Rendon. This is the second book from her that I've read. She is an Indigenous author, and this is the story of an Indigenous woman who one morning while she's out running, she hears a scream in the woods, and she is absolutely certain that it was a woman's scream. It wasn't a mountain lion, it wasn't a fox, and it really just kickstarts her into digging into the issue of all of the missing and murdered Indigenous women and why it is that even the reservation police don't do everything that they can to find these missing women. She calls the cops and they do a nothing burger of an investigation. They don't even make it all the way out to where she was when she heard the scream. She and her husband actually go out and find their tire tracks that show where they turned around. They go further into where she actually was when she heard the scream, and they do find evidence of a struggle. So she knows, she confirms for herself that something happened. And right now, near the reservation, they are working on putting that pipeline through that is such an environmental hazard. Every time one of these man camps for the pipeline is set up near a reservation, women go missing or turn up murdered. And there's just a major uptick in violence, and nobody is doing anything about it. So our main character, Quill, decides that she is going to investigate herself. So far, I am really enjoying it. I love that her husband is so supportive, and I love their dynamic, and she's always running, and I really appreciate that motif that is her running. It definitely lends a tense atmosphere. This is technically a mystery thriller, and while I don't really go in for thrillers, I really do enjoy mysteries. Also, I have read from this author before, and I really enjoy her writing style. And then for the next 2 rings of hell, because you can double up on consecutive levels of hell. So I'm actually going to be doubling up on the levels of hell with the next 3 books, because I know there is no way I'm going to read 9 books between now and the 16th. So for the next 2 levels of hell, I need to read a book with a dark cover, and I need to read a book with violence. And so I'm going to go with my current read, Black Sun by Rebecca Roanhorse. I love this book. And it is most definitely violent, and the majority of the cover is black. So I think that covers both prompts really well. And I talked about this book at length in my vlog, so If you want to hear more about that, how I'm enjoying it so far, you're welcome to go and watch that. And then for the next two Rings of Hell, I need to read a hot pick, something that is popular or trending. And for the Ring of Hell after that, I need a book that has a conflict that intrigues me. So for that one, I am going to use my other current read, Witchcraft for Wayward Witches by Grady Hendrix. This is one that I also talked about at length in my last vlog, so you're absolutely welcome to go back and watch that if you haven't already. My roommate, who works from home, came through on her break a little bit earlier than I was expecting, so I had to pause filming. And I don't remember if I finished talking about Witchcraft for Wayward Witches. But basically, that's what I am reading for something that is popular or trending, because I have seen this book talked about again and again and again in so many different booktube videos. And it is also the current pick for the Full Moon Book Club, so I think that it fits that prompt really well. And then the prompt for the next Ring of Hell is I need to be reading a book that has a conflict that intrigues me. I don't know if you could hear that, but my dog totally just snored. Anyway, ignore any snoring you may hear, because I don't think she's gonna stop. And honestly, the whole premise of the book is a conflict that I find interesting, because it's looking from a historical point of view at the horror of society's policing of female bodies. And I'm always intrigued about seeing another take on subjects of that nature. So that's how come I think that fits for that ring as well. So for the next two Rungs of Hell, I need a book that I acquired recently and something with food or beverage on the cover. So I'm going to go with Guilt and Gina Ta'an by Mia P. Manansala. So basically, I already had it on Audible, so it wasn't really a recent acquisition because I pre-ordered it. I pre-order all of these books automatically. What I forgot to finish saying here is that it is actually also a recent acquisition because I purchased it in the physical format through Pango, and it should be here by the time I get to this level of hell. Tita Rosie's Kitchen Mysteries are just right up my alley. First of all, they're Filipino, and I really enjoy getting this feel of Filipino culture and Filipino community, which is something that I've definitely missed my whole life. I love getting to know the different foods or seeing the foods that I already know, and the mysteries themselves are great. The writing is great. It's very, very cozy mystery, but the main character kind of gives Veronica Mars vibes, except that instead of being completely obsessed with solving mysteries and digging into things, she has outside influences, and she's much more balanced than Veronica Mars, which is funny because she's definitely got plenty of flaws and she has her unbalanced moments. But I really enjoy, super enjoy these books. These really just speak to me and they make me so happy because I also really enjoy the fact that it doesn't just show Filipino culture in a way that I never got the opportunity to see it, but it also shows Filipino culture in America with people who grew up American. So it's still not quite my experience because I grew up in a white family with predominantly white people in my neighborhood, and I never had the opportunity to experience an auntie brigade, which is kind of how I view the aunties in this series. I love them so much. They are just everything that I wish I had in my life. I love how noisy they are. I love how opinionated they are. Um, I don't think that I would be annoyed by them the way that our main character is, but yeah, anyhow. Whenever I read these books, I get to visit a version of life that I wish I had got to have my own, I don't know, experience of. So anyway, moving on. So to escape the next to last Ring of Hell, I need to read a 5-star prediction. So for that, I picked Night of the Mannequins by Stephen Graham Jones. And like, I picked it partly because of how short it is. It's a little over 2 hours for the audiobook. But this has been in my audio TBR for ages and ages. And I just keep picking up other books. Like, I don't know why, but this one definitely gives me the heebie-jeebies. Like, when I read the summary, it gives me the heebie-jeebies. So I'm excited to get to this one. And then for the final Ring of Hell, where we get to fully escape the pit. Basically, you just can't double up. That's the whole prompt, is you need to read one more book and you can't double up. So for that one, I'm going to read Hood Feminism by Mickey Kendall. This is a nonfiction book that I have had in my audio TBR for a very long time. I've had it recommended a million times by a million different booktubers, and since it is Black History Month, it just feels appropriate. So I'm gonna read that to escape hell. Honestly, I think even if I don't get to escape hell during Jante's Inferno, I think I will probably still read all of these books because I'm like super, super excited for them. So they are definitely fitting within the mood reading feels. We'll see. Again, moods can change, but we'll see how it goes. So anyhow, that is it for me. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to, and let me know in the comments if you are participating in Jante's Inferno, and if not, what are you reading right now? Or if you're not reading anything right now, what do you think you're going to pick up next? If you don't want to do that, then leave me an emoji of the devil face or fire emoji just to let me know that you were here. And thanks for watching. See you next video. Stars shining bright above me. Night breezes seem to whisper. Sycamore tree. Dream a little dreamer. And I have talked about this one rung of hell for a really long time, and I have 8 more to go. I'm not going to make it out of hell unless... I don't know where I was going with that. I have lost my train of thought. I haven't taken my ADHD meds yet, which... and for that, I'm going to use my... And for that, I'm going to use my other current read, which is... Oh, I didn't pause it. Okay. Hey. I wasn't done with you. And a beverage on the cover. Is there a beverage on the cover? Oh, I thought it was a food. Food or beverage. It is. Haha. Okay. If you are participating in Jante's Inferno,